And this from Zero Hedge. Did China's Tencent accidentally leak the true terrifying coronavirus statistics? 10 days ago, shortly after China first started reporting the cases and deaths associated with the coronavirus epidemic, a UK researcher predicted that over 250,000 Chinese would be infected with the virus by February the 14th. And while according to the official Chinese data, the number of infections has indeed soared in the past 2 weeks at just under 25,000 and roughly 500 deaths, it's a far cry from this dismal prediction, about 10 times below that predicted by epidemiologists. Okay, and so here chart, the red line is the deaths and the blue line is the mainland China and international cases. So here we are, you can see 25,000 and 500. Is this discrepancy possible? Is the epidemic truly far less serious than conventional epidemiological models predicted, or is China merely hiding the full extent of the problem? After all, it was the WJS itself reported in late January China was explicitly manipulating the casualty numbers by listing pneumonia as cause of death instead of coronavirus. Subsequent reports that Wuhan officials were rushing to cremate coronavirus casualties before they could be counted did not add to the credibility of the official data. But the biggest hit to the narrative in China's official reported epidemic numbers came overnight, when a slip-up in China's Tencent may have revealed the true extent of the coronavirus epidemic on the mainland, and it is nothing short of terrifying. As the Taiwan Times reports over the weekend, Tencent seems to have inadvertently released what is potentially the actual number of infections and deaths, which were astronomically higher than official figures, and were far closer to the catastrophic epidemic projections made by Jonathan Reed. According to the report late on Saturday evening, Tencent on its webpage, titled Epidemic Situation Tracker, showed confirmed cases of novel coronavirus 2019 nCoV in China as standing at 154,023, 10 times the official figure at that time, and it listed the number of suspected cases as 79,808, 4 times the official figure. And while the number of cured cases was only 269, well below the official number that day of 300, most ominously, the death toll listed was 24,589, vastly higher than the 300 officially listed that day. And here we see this first screen, and you can see that this is 23 is 1139, and the figures, 154,000 cases, 79,000 suspected, 269 recovered, and 24,000 dead. Moments later, Tencent updated the numbers to reflect the government's official numbers that day. And you can see here they're side by side, and this is from 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and just 8-9 hours later, look at the difference in figures. 154,000 to 14,000. This was not the first time Tencent has done this, as Taiwan Times notes. Chinese netizens have noticed that Tencent has on at least 3 occasions posted extremely high numbers only to quickly lower them to government-approved statistics. This is where it gets even more bizarre. Contrary to claiming that this was just a fat finger mistyping of data, observant Chinese netizens also notice that each time the screen with the large numbers appears, it shows a comparison with the previous day's data, which demonstrates a reasonable incremental increase, much like comparisons of official numbers. This led many in the mainland to speculate that Tencent has 2 sets of data, the real data and processed data. In short, 2 camps have emerged. One, the more optimistic, speculates that a coding problem could be causing the real internal data to accidentally appear. The other, far more pessimistically inclined, believes that someone behind the scenes is trying to leak the real numbers, as the internal data being held by Beijing may not reflect the true extent of the epidemic. Indeed, as repeatedly pointed out here, and according to multiple sources in Wuhan, many coronavirus patients are unable to receive treatment and die outside of hospitals. Furthermore, a severe shortage of test kits also leads to a lower number of diagnosed cases of infection and death. In addition, there have been many reports of doctors being ordered to list other forms of death instead of coronavirus to keep the death toll artificially low. What is the truth? We leave it up to the readers, but keep this in mind. On January 29th, Zheng Guang, the chief scientist of epidemiology at China's CDC, made a rare and candid admission about why Chinese officials cannot tell people the truth in an interview with the state-run tabloid Global Times. The officials need to think about the political angle and social stability in order to keep their positions. And then on Monday, none other than China's Xi called on all officials to quickly work together to contain the coronavirus at a rare meeting of top leaders, saying the outcome would directly impact social stability in the country. Well, if China is mostly concerned about social stability, as it should be for a nation of 1.4 billion, it's easy to comprehend why the entire political apparatus in China would be geared to presenting numbers which seem somewhat credible in the light of a barrage of videos of people dying on the street, but not so terrifying as to cause a countrywide panic. Then again, if China indeed had over 154,000 cases and almost 25,000 deaths as of 5 days ago, then no attempts to mask the full extent and true severity of the pandemic have any hopes of containing the truth.